Okay, so I'm going to try something a bit different today. We're going to do our first time streaming some software development. This is a game project I'm working on just to kind of learn this engine again. The last few years, I've spent most of my time developing and working within my own engine. Yeah, it's a wood tank. And so I'm using this project to explore the engine, and not only the engine, this is the first foray I've really had into 3D development. I mainly used my own engine previously, and I knew that trying to create a 3D engine would mean that I'd never get any actual game work done. So I'm going to use someone else's engine for that. This is Godot. It is a relatively new engine. Um, it's been gaining in popularity a lot over the last handful of years. I really like it. Um, I did use Unity at one point in time, but after a couple of major updates where they broke everything, I just decided that it wasn't a good platform to learn on if I had to fix everything all the time. And they also kind of a habit of introducing new features and workflows really early and then not even finishing them before they release a new workflow to do the same thing. And I just got sick of trying to follow that train. So that initially led me to making my own engine, because at the time I was just doing 2D games and that was a fun adventure. But it turns out that it's really hard to spare the time to make an engine and make games. So I ended up with an engine that I'm pretty proud of, that I think is pretty capable for most 2D games, but I have never finished a game because I've spent so much time working on the engine. So I'm kind of looking at maybe jumping over to Godot for both 2D and 3D so that I can actually get around to finishing projects. Um, but yeah, so I'm just gonna keep noodling around with this. I have a basic scene here working. If I click play, it'll build the project up. Um, I've got an orthographic camera up high, right where I want it. I can move the tank around. I can shoot bullets, and if I hit the block, the bullet will bounce back. For anyone who played the We Play tank game that's like 20 years old now. I'm kind of recreating that in a way, and then I'm going to expand on that and probably totally go in a different direction once I have that basic stuff working. So I'm also going to turn down the music just a little bit. I don't want to compete with it because I don't talk very loud. But yeah, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is, the way I have the floor and the wood block in here is in kind of a temporary way. So I'm going to replace that into a more permanent thing. We're going to add more blocks, and there's a couple other little things I could probably get done with what I have right now, and we're just going to keep going and see what I get done. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is this is the new block type I'm going to be using, but it's very small. I want it to be much closer to the size of this temporary block right here. So trying to decide how I want to do that. I don't know if there's much I can do. Okay, I can do it in the mesh itself. What happens if we just double the size? That's actually pretty close. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna let just let's see, if I make this guy not visible, is he still there? Here, I'll just move this guy out of the way here. All right, let's just play. First thing I want to see is if I shoot straight forward, is that block still there? That block is still there, I just can't see it. Okay, and also this block, I can move through it and shoot through it because it has no collision. So that's going to be the next thing we're going to fix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an actual object that Right now, this is just a base mesh. It doesn't have any logic. Basically, all it can do is be drawn by the engine. It's not going to have any behavior or anything, so I'm going to fix that. I'm going to just... I'm going to remove that, and we're going to make, like, a full block entity instead of just the... instead... What am I trying to say? Instead of just the mesh here. I'm trying to decide if that's it. Block 1's not a very descriptive name. I'll rename it if we need to. So we're going to make a scene. Everything's a scene in Godot. It's going to be a 3D scene. It's just going to be called block... Man, should that just be block 1? Am I really going to give every block its own name? This is going to be a mistake later on, but I'm just going to give it a block 1 name. Okay, so we have a base node here. I'm trying to decide. Let's just see what happens if I change this to a mesh. Mesh instance. We're going to give it a mesh, which is this guy right here. We are going to... Can I just change the size of the mesh instance to be twice as large? Okay. And... Oh, this... I already changed the mesh size. So we're actually going to undo that change I just did. So this should be big enough. Now, do I want the center of the object to be the middle of the block body or the base? I think I'm going to do the base. So we are going to move this up to 2 meters, right? Or is it just 1? It's just 1 because it's half its distance. So, oop, didn't want to rotate it. So I'm going to change its transform, and we're going to put it at 1. Bam. Okay, so now when this block is put in, its center, or its center point will be its butt, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so there's block 1. So what I can do is we're going to go back into test here. We're going to remove this invisible test box. Oops. Come on. Don't rename it. Remove it. We want that one for now. But what we're going to do is we're going to drag that block in. It's in there, but it's way below everything because 3D is funny. Okay, yep, so now we have this block in a new and better way. We're going to put it over here. I'm going to manually set its y coordinate to 0. Oh, did that not... Here. I thought that by... oh, you know what? I know what the problem is. It's kind of hard to describe, but it does actually make sense. So that's fine, I think. No, it actually is really important that the center point, the center point be on its butt. So we're going to reorganize this a little bit. I'm going to actually change this back to a node 3D. We're going to lose our actual mesh. And instead of the block itself being a mesh node, we're going to add a child node as the mesh. And that is going to basically look like what we just had. So we're just going to call this the mesh. And you are going to be at 0. And you are going to be at 1. So that looks like basically the same end result, but it is quite different. If I go back to here, we will notice that if I have this at position 0, 0y, it's sitting on its butt, whereas before it was right in the middle, so that's what we want. And now, if I were to hit play, the block's there, but we still have the collision problem, which makes sense because I didn't put any sort of collision behavior in there. Luckily, that's really easy, so I'm going to go back into my block scene, and we're going to add a collision. Actually, we're going to add a static body, which means that it will never move. It's not a physics body that can be knocked over or pushed around or anything. And that telling it right now that it's a static body that'll never move will make it a lot more optimized when it's actually doing physics shit. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to finish adding collision. The static body itself isn't enough, it wants a collision shape. Because while it has a mesh here, it doesn't actually know which parts of this mesh are collidable. If there are hollow parts of this mesh, it wouldn't know if, units could go into that hollow part or anything like that. So this is where we're going to tell it exactly what shape it can be collided with it, basically, or what shape of it contributes to collision. So pretty easy. We're going to give it a box shape. We're going to make the box shape have all the same. We're going to do a scale of 2 and a position of 1, and that matches it just exactly. Cool. So now, if I were to play, let's see what happens. Up, bonk, and bullets bounce again. Okay, so now we have a block that makes sense. That's built in a way that's not using the temporary testing system. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the floor now. So with the floor, I think we're going to try to use another box or block. But let's see, how do we want to do that? Or should I just make something different? Let's do it a different way. We're going to do a new scene. We're just going to call this floor. I think I also messed up my naming conventions here. I'm going to cancel this real quick. Okay, yeah, this should be lowercase. Did that break anything? No, that didn't break anything. Let's file that. Case mismatch. Okay, I'm going to it's telling me there might be an issue with what I just did, so we're just gonna do this over again. We're gonna delete. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I can fix this manually. This is probably a terrible idea. I'm gonna go into my test scene file, and I'm just gonna rename that. Well, let's see. No, because the node name there doesn't matter. I don't know if that matters. I'm not gonna mess with that actually. Drivers, Windows, file access, case mismatch, opening requested file, block1.tscn. Is it? I'm gonna clear this. And what happens if I... Okay, that doesn't go away. What if I try to open this? That doesn't go away. Let's run the game again. Oh shit, that still happened. Why? Where is it trying to do that? Every time I save, what if I delete this node? Clear this, save. Okay, that did fix it. So we're just going to add it back in, just how we did before. We are going to change its transform. 0, 1. Come on. Oop, not that. It's not letting me. Just select the number, please. Oh, right. This can be at 0. And we're going to move you this way. Okay, now when I save everything works, we're going to go ahead and just test this out again. All right, same behavior. That's a good thing. Okay, anyway, we're going to do this with the floor now. I'm going to go ahead and create a floor scene. Now we're just going to call this floor. Actually, I'm creating a script, not a script. I want a scene. New scene. Oh, I was thrown off because that interface looked different, so this is just going to be floor. Alright, I like my nodes to have capitalized names, so we're going to fix that. I'm just going to make sure scene test. Okay. Okay, we're going to kind of do a similar thing. We're going to add a mesh. This is going to be a mesh instance. We're just going to rename it mesh. Mesh, not mesh. We're going to give it a mesh. We're actually going to give it... What happens if I give it this... Oh, I know what I can do. So we're going to give it this mesh. And we're going to change the material. We're going to give it this... Pardon me. This darker wood. Alright, and we're going to change the shape here a bit. Can I do that? Can I do that from here if I do the transform? What if I make the X scale? Actually, it'd be the Y scale. What if we make this 0.3? Oh, it's because they're... Can I do this? Okay, now what happens if I 0.3? Excellent, that's what I wanted to see. Let's do 0.1. Okay, so, and now we're going to move it down just ever so slightly. It's going to be 0.1. Perfect. And we're going, can I just stretch it? No, that's going to move it. We're going to change its X and Z scales as well. We're going to do like 30. Ooh, that stretches the mesh in a really gross way. And we're going to do 20. Okay, that's not so bad. I'm sure there's a better way to do that. How big is our floor in here? Oh, not here. It's here. It is 45 by 70. And this block is 2, right? It's 2 cubed. So a bummer of that is 2 doesn't go into 45, so we'll have to go into 46. 46 divided by 2 is 23. So we are going to make this, instead of 30, we're going to make this 23. Why did you do that? Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong node. It's this one. Right? No, it was the mesh. That just got checked again for some reason. Okay, 23. Hey Ivy, I'm making a game with a little tank. He's gonna shoot this block and it's gonna bounce off and hit him and do nothing. See, I can drive him around. Here, I'll make it bigger. I can drive him around, I can shoot little pellets and they bounce. And one thing that's actually cool is if I shoot a pellet... Oh, I did it too late. Wrong way. Oh, I need to do it way sooner. Dang it. They'll bounce off each other, and it's funny because it's relatively unpredictable. Nope, they're too slow. There we go. It missed almost all of them. But, yeah. Yeah, the pellets do bounce off each other. You can see it if I just do this. They only have a limited number of bounces. So here, I'll make that a little more fun. All I have to do is go in... Where do I have to do that? I think it's part of the tank. No, it's not part of the tank. Is it part of the... Is it part of the bullet itself? I bet it is. Oh, it's part of the bullet. Let's do 3 bounces. No, I have to make this work. There we go. Now they're bouncing all over the place. And no, you won't be able to just have infinite bullets. You can sleep. I won't tell anybody, Edward. Here, I'll turn up the music. It'll soothe you to sleep. Hopefully my super excitable and grating voice doesn't keep you awake. I'm pretty loud. Okay, so anyway, my goal is to... I got distracted. 70 divided by 2 is 35, so this needs to have a... This needs to be 35. Oop, not like that. Oh, I had them backwards. How did I get them backwards? No, that makes sense. Is it 70 wide by... Okay. Get rid of that. I don't need that. Transform. Oh, that's not the... It's... That is right. Why is that all funny? Right? Okay. Why is the transform... Oh, it's the size. Yeah, the X is 45 and the Z is 70. Why is that weird on this side? X is 45. Z is 70. Is it... It's not rotated. Why are X and Z different here? Look, X is this way and Z is this... No, that does make sense. I'm lost. I feel like this is rotated or something. X... Oh, X is this way, Z is this way. Did I get... I got... Okay. It did work. I just guess I rotated the camera 90 degrees at some point. Okay, so X is left and right, or X is that way, Z is that way. X is that way, Z is that way. Okay. I don't know what happened. I got confused. So now I should be able to kill this floor. I do wish... The boards are running the wrong way. I wonder how I fix that. Can I rotate the mesh? What if I change the rotation order? That didn't do anything. Can I go back? Also, yeah, no, that's right. That's really weird. Is it because the mesh is... What? What if I put this one back? Okay, no, that one's just like that. I want it to go the other way. How do I do that? Flip faces? Nope. I need an adult to tell me how to rotate the mesh. Not even the mesh, the material. Actually, I think I can literally just rotate the mesh. No, that doesn't. Well, no, that's not gonna work. Hmm. That's just really odd. That it's like the texture on the... Can I just use the texture itself? What if I do this? Nope. I don't like that because it gets rid of the shine, because it's not a material and it doesn't have that information in it. Can I... Okay, so... Let's get rid of that. I mean, not get rid of that. Let's... Under priority, next pass, texture... Yeah, why did it do that? I'm gonna just look it up. Is that part of the UV? I mess with these. Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that effect at all. Ugh, that's sickening. Is this the... Oop, that didn't do anything, did it? No. That's so weird. What would I mean, I could rotate it 90 degrees and stretch it the other way, but I don't feel like that solves the problem. That just avoids it. It's just weird to me that this decide. You know what? I'm gonna start over. We're gonna do it. Do I really want to do that though? I feel like that's a pain. Okay, we're gonna drop this mesh in again. That's the sky. Bam. Wait, why? Oh, I know why. That does make sense actually. Okay, this is the surface material override. It's just so weird that it's like rotated, right? I don't know what a lot of these things mean either. Like the UV seems to offset it in a way that it really makes me ill. Transform? No, that's not going to do anything. It's not transparency. Not vertex. Albedo's color, basically. Metallic shininess. It's not any of that. It's not a normal map. That's so weird. It's fine. We're gonna fix it the other way. We're going to swap its is that in here? No, that is in here in the mesh. We're going to not worry about this. We're going to go into it. So we're just going to swap these. This is going to be 35. This is gonna, oops, stop that. This is gonna be 35. This is gonna be 23. Why does it do that? 23. And we're gonna rotate it 90 degrees on the y-axis. 90? 90. Okay. Okay, that looks good to me. So now we can go back in here and we're going to replace the floor with the new floor that we made. And there's no gravity in this game. The tank isn't actually like resting on top of it. If there were no floor, it would not fall. So I don't actually have to worry about collision with the floor because everything in this game is going to happen on the same level. There's not going to be any ramps or anything like that. So the floor is just there visually. So let's get rid of the test floor here. And we're going to drag in the new one. And we're going to make sure it's at the right spot, which is just zeros across the board. And bam, there's a floor. Ooh, it might actually be an issue that it's so shiny. But I can fix that. Yep, no ramps. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, so, I might try to turn down the shininess. I do that without ruining the material. Yeah, I'll take you off the list, it's fine. I can't refund your money though, because I already spent it. I wonder, can I do that without... See, I'd like to fix the material so it's not quite as shiny. I also, that looks all stretched. It's not a great texture, I'll have to find a better one, but it'll work for now. Yeah, I can drive off the board. There's no collision, I could even drive out of the camera view. And the camera is fixed so it doesn't follow you or anything, but when I actually finish the map, it will be closed in. Yeah, the only place I can't drive is where this block is. Also, I can get rid of that little ball that's on my mouse. That is for testing, but so that's this guy. And target. Target point is... Okay. So I can... That's fine. I'll just make it invisible. I'll actually keep it in there in the test scene, because if something breaks later on, that'll make it easier to tell what I'm... You know what? I'll just have it on. That way I'll know if it's behaving funny, something broke. It's not necessary at this exact second, but if that ball that's following my mouse ever does something weird, I know something's not right. Okay. Alright, so we have a block. It's built the right way, and the floor is built the right way. I guess what I can do now is I can actually like build a test level. So let's do that. It's gonna actually there's one thing I want to try to use, and it's called is it a grid map? Grid map. Whoa, that's cool. And can I make the blocks children of that grid map? Is that how this works? Mesh library resource. Will that work for... Can I just give you this guy? Okay. Oh, mesh library. Give a mesh... Okay, let's see what happens. Mesh library. Oh, it's a resource, not a scene. So... we'll just put it in here for now and see. So that's a resource. Mesh library. I've never used this before. We'll see what this does. We'll do level mesh library. What do I do with this? Okay, what if I click on this and give you a mesh library? I don't... Mesh library, resource. Do I have to... Okay, let's look at the documentation. Can I just drag mesh onto it? I don't know what that did. I feel like that broke something. Nothing to undo, I just did something. Oh, I moved it. Can I move that back? Okay, all is well. Yeah, there's just nothing I can do with this. Level mesh library. I did hear that the grid map's kind of a pain to use, and I think I might have found out why. So if I go to the grid map, oh, did that do it? Can I put this in here now? Can I put this in here now? There we go. So now if I go to the grid map, whoa. I had a little mesh library thing here and it's gone. What happened? Grid map. If I get rid of the mesh library, does that... See, it would be really helpful if this popped up when I actually put the mesh library in there. There we go, mesh number 0. How about that? Now I can draw with that. That's really, see, that's cool. Can I put my blocks in there? Can I add another item? Oh yeah, I had to use this item. Okay. Mesh, shapes, nav mesh. What are shapes? Hmm. I'm trying to decide if I want to spend a bunch of time figuring out this grid map system that I know is kind of a pain in the ass and that a lot of people don't like, or if I want to just figure out, just eyeball everything. I do eventually want to make my own level editor, and maybe that'll take care of everything for me, because I don't really want to, even with the grid map, I don't know if I want to, like, make the levels in engine, if that makes sense. I wish I could use the grid map to place any of my nodes, but I don't think I can do that. I think I can only give it raw meshes, and God, this just... Are the shapes collision shapes? Grid map, mesh library scene, mesh navigation. I don't know if I want to mess with this. Yeah, I'm not actually going to use the grid map. It was a good thought. So, let's see, how do I want to do this? Can I just make... Let's see if I can make really shitty walls. Oop, what did I just do? Oh, I rotated it. There are... Can I change the grid, like, fidelity? Or that be... Seems like it'd be in view. View grid settings. Nah, that's not helping. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to... Can I really just snap the object to the floor? Okay. Okay. We're going to put you over on the edge here. And we're gonna make your y coordinate 0. That way you're on the floor. And we're going to change your X scale to, what was it, 35? Whoa. Oh, it's because it... I wish that stayed unchecked. Oh no, 35 is the long one. It was 26. Was it not 26? Was it 23? It's weird that it's not exact. Oh, it's because you're not quite at 0. And you're not quite at... Is it really 33? 34? No, it'd be 35, wouldn't it? Except minus half the length of the block? Yeah, that's the issue. Okay. 35... 30, oh, 34 is fine. And that's perfect. Okay. We're going to call you left wall. We're going to duplicate you. Don't rename them, duplicate them. Left wall 2, yeah, that's what I like to call the right wall. Alright, and we're going to bump you all the way to the other side. So you're going to be, transform, you're going to be negative 30, negative 33. Nope, negative 34. There we go. It's really hard to move around in the editor. I wish that like it had standard 3D controls, but it doesn't. Okay. We're going to pull in another block. Set you at the middle of everything. We're going to set your Z scale to that was 23 or whatever, right? Again, I hate that that stays linked. 23? No. That was that? Let's see. I shouldn't be guessing at this. Was that 36? 35? That's 35. And then we're going to drop you down here to the bottom. I don't think it's a problem that they're overlapping here since they're static bodies. It's not like they're gonna just snap and fly off into the sunset. Oh, how about 22? 22 looks good. Okay, same deal. We're gonna have to call you bottom wall. We're gonna duplicate you. Stop trying to rename it. Bottom wall 2, also known as top wall. And you are going to be at negative 22. Bam, just like magic. And you're not... Okay, cool. So now I shouldn't be able to leave the arena. Okay, and the camera angle is such that I can't hide behind the bottom wall. I can always see where I am. Now, one thing that's fun is the bullets will probably go everywhere. Wonder how many I can do before the game crashes. That's something that's on the list too, is to limit how many bullets are in the air. Let's see, is that a good overall arena size? I don't think I want to make the tank appear much smaller. It's going to be hard to tell where you're going to be. So I think this is going to be like the canonical arena size, and what's in the middle can change. Okay, cool. So let's... I'm going to pull up my code here so that I can commit this. Maybe. Okay, so that's all saved. You'll also notice that the tank's a different color in here, and that's just because I wanted to test if I could change the color of the tank through code, and I can. So if I were to take this out and launch the game... Oh, what did I break? Oh, that's not what... I'm dumb. That's not even close to the code that I wanted to... Where would that be? I don't... Oh, is it in the tank itself? That would be in component tank. Oh, it is in the tank itself. So now if I start the game, he should be his plain color. Yep, he's just the normal color now. If anyone has any color requests, I can use the hex codes. But we're going to take this out of here, because that doesn't need to be there in the ready. We could do it here if we needed to. That would be a better place to test that. Okay, so I guess the next thing I need to do is bullet limiting. And we do kind of have a system for that. So let me think about exactly how we're going to do that. So if I go into my tank scene, this is where the actual tank is, like, all his behavior is defined and everything. I have this bullet spawn. Oh, no, it's this bullet pool right here. And when a bullet is created, it adds it to that pool. And ideally, when it tries to create a bullet, it pulls one from that pool if it's available instead of creating a whole new entity. Oh, I just noticed that his head's kind of floating. I'll fix that. Oh, I think that wasn't the turret I just moved. There we go. He's a little bit shorter. Okay, bullet spawn. What is the height of this? It should really be standardized. That's fine. That'll work. Okay, kind of lost track of what I was doing. Okay, bullet pool. So what we're going to do... Still kind of have to think this through a little bit. Am I going to have the bullet pool node here itself to, like, take care of the logic for providing bullets? Am I just going to have it keep count of maximum bullets and how many it has? Am I going to have it have two separate pools of available bullets and active bullets? That might be the most, like, Godot way to do it, is to give it two children for active bullets and the bullet queue. And then if there's... Let's see. Let's play with that and just see how that feels. I can always change it later. So we're going to give it just a regular node. Yeah, right? Two children in this economy? I mean, he is basically a gun, and guns have rights here. Okay, we're going to call this the bullet queue. And we are going to make another one. And let's see, we're going to call this active bullets. And normally, especially in a game with like hundreds or maybe thousands of bullets in the air, you would only have one bullet pool that all the different guns and tanks pull from. But I don't ever plan on there being more than a few dozen tanks on screen. So every tank has its own separate bullet pool, which allows me to kind of allocate bullets, not only total on screen, but per tank. in the Wii Tanks game that I'm kind of basing this off of, you can have 5 bullets in the air at a time, and if there are 5 bullets in the air, in this case, if there are 5 bullets in this active bullets, you just can't fire. So that means, okay, so the bullet pool is going to have some sort of logic to it, so we're going to put a script on it. Put a script on it. I'm looking at it. Am I not? Is there not an attached script? That's what it is.
Buffering for me.
Oh, I don't know why.
I'll reload.
Okay, so yeah, got a little distracted there. Ready, process. It doesn't really need to do anything every frame, so we're gonna go ahead and kill that. I don't think it needs to do any sort of like initialization, so I'm not gonna completely remove that. I'm just gonna comment that out in case I need it later. Not that I couldn't just rewrite it, but okay, so what does this need to know? This needs to know it needs to know max bullets, which is basically going to be, we're going to do max active bullets. And we'll make this a property. We need to know max queued bullets. Well, there's not really any case that max active bullets and max queued bullets need to be different. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to, we are going to, let's see. Just trying to decide how I'm going to track the bullets exactly. Like, is this going to have references to the actual bullet nodes? Is it going to abstract that some way? Let's just do it this way. We're going to do public bullets. No, that doesn't need to be public. We're going to do private bullets. And that means that should those be 2 separate arrays? Can I do... Here, I'm just gonna do this to test something. Can I do get node bullet queue dot get child? Oh, I can do it by the index. Iterating all children. Okay, we don't need to track the bullets like this. What we can do is we can public int, not int, what am I thinking? Void populate. And we're just going to do bullet B and this is going. Actually, we're going to also do a public void clear. And what this will do is this will clear all active and pending bullets. So I did need that method that I just got rid of. So we're going to do public override void no. Is it process? No, it's not process. It is ready. Was that what the first one said? How did I forget? Okay, it is ready. Okay, we need some quick references to our active list. So private node active bullets. Private node bullet queue, and we will do get node. And that is what I called that, right? Yeah. And we will do bullets queue equals get node bullet queue. So now when I want to clear, what we'll do is active bullets free. Can I free the children? What does queue free do? Queue is a node for deletion at the end of the current frame. When deleted, all its child nodes will be deleted as well. I wish I could just do that. Can I just clear the children? That would be so cool. Just murder all the children all at once. Add child, get child, find child, move child, remove child. That index. This node is not deleted. Okay, so this is going to be ugly. We're going to do for oh, can we do a for each there? That would make this really easy. I'm going to do for each var c in active bullets dot children. What does this get me? An array of nodes. What is C in this? Just a node. Okay. We can do c.queueFree. That way it's not deleted right away and breaks everything. It still might break. We're gonna have to give it a try. And then we'll do the same for the other ones. For each, there's C in bullet queue, children. We're gonna queue free on that as well. I don't know if queuing is actually a good idea. No, we're gonna do this a different way. I feel like that can introduce some problems if like more shit happens before the end of the frame when those are actually freed. So we're gonna do this a bit more in a bit more of a verbose way. We're gonna use a for instead of a for each, where I equals 0, I less than active bullets dot child count. That's number of child. And I plus plus. Come on, let's stop hitting that. There we go. And we are going to do c.get. Nope. There var c equals so my issue with this is when I delete a well, does it? This might be an issue too. I don't know if it gets re-indexed each time a child is deleted, which would mean this wouldn't work. Internal children aren't counted. What does free do? Not too bad. What if we deletes the object from memory? Any pre-existing reference to the freed object will become invalid. So it's a Godot.object. I'm really worried about how this is going to work. This might... I'm thinking that this might actually work. Let's just do this and see what happens. So what I'm going to do to test this is I'm going to go and we're going to go into the tank and we are just going to manually add some bullets to the pool. So we're going to do this. We're going to duplicate that a couple of times. And we're going to do that again. Oop, not that one. This. We're going to do that again. Nope. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. And then when the tank enters the scene, so we're going to go to tank.cs. We're just going to just right here. We're going to do bullet pool. Actually, well, that was terrible. Why is clear not there? Public void clear, it's there. Do I just need to rebuild? Will it just show up? Why is that misbehaving? Bullet pool node. Well, it's not a node. Oh, you know why? It's because it's a node up here. There we go. Okay, so this might just break immediately. I'm going to put a breakpoint right here just to make sure we get here. And we're going to debug and see what happens. Okay, it got to this point in the code. Can I jump over this without it crashing? It worked. So if I go into... Okay, and do I have a remote? I do not. That's fine. We'll just close this. We're going to launch it from here instead. And what this should do is we can see the bullets and the queues and the active here, but if we go to remote and find the tank and find the bullet pool. Okay, and just to make sure that if I don't call clear that the bullets are actually there, let's comment this out. We'll get rid of that breakpoint and we'll launch from here again. Okay, look at the remote again. Tank, bullet pool, the bullets are there. So that worked. Sometimes what I was worried about is there's a particular behavior with for each loops where they're easier to use, but you can't really do anything to destroy or majorly modify the items in the loop. Like for instance, if I had a list and I were to for each over it, if I try to remove items from that list while I'm for eaching it, it throws a fit. You can't modify the list itself. You can modify the items in the list, but you can't modify the list itself as you're going over it. And since I'm like basically deleting things here, I thought I was doing that, but Godot must handle it in a way where the object is removed, but the list itself remains unchanged. So that was actually really easy. I was afraid it was going to work in a different way that would have made that really hard. So clearing works. Now let's see if we can populate. So we are, let's see. This is going to get kind of funny with, well, not if everything is still just a member of the bullet class. I think it'll be okay. I just can't basically do this with generic programming, but that's okay. So what we're going to do here is populate, we're going to clear. There's no reason to populate if there's already shit in the pool. And then we are going to, for I equals 0, less than max active bullets, I plus plus. So we're basically adding the bullets to the bullet queue. So we're going to do, well, first, bullet. This actually needs to be a packed scene and not a bullet. Right? Because this needs to basically take in a bullet template. So yeah, this is going to be a packed scene. Bullet scene. And we are going to do var b equals bullet scene dot instantiate. Instantiates the scene area on failure of hairstyle scene and instantiates. So I think that's what I want it to do. We're going to do bullet queue dot add child b. Okay, so now let's try test populating. So should that happen from the tank? Oh, that's test anyway. Tank, do I? Okay, so I do already have a reference to the bullet. So we're going to do bullet pool dot populate, and we're just going to use the bullet right here. And just dot max active bullets was set to 3. So what this should do is when I run the game and look at that remote tab, the bullet pool, the bullet queue should have 3 bullets in it. So we'll take a look. Okay, remote tank bullet pool, bullet queue has 3 bullets in it. Cool. So that did exactly what I wanted it to do. So now I need to modify the fire. It's right here. We're going to just comment out this old behavior. And we're just going to rewrite this method. So public void fire. Let's mess with this a bit. We're going to do a public bool try fire instead. And what this will do is if bullets are available and it fires successfully, it'll return true. If bullets aren't available, it will not fire and it will return false. So it gives us a little information on so var res equals true. Okay, so and we have we're going to change this to try fire. Okay, so this means we're going to have to there's a couple other things that we're going to have to tie into here. That's why I stopped talking. I'm just thinking about that. But for now, all we need to do is the bullet pool will need to provide a bullet reference for us here. So we're going to do so clear populate. We're also going to do a public void get. Actually, it's not a void. It's going to... Hey, Nick! How's it going? It's going alright. I'm just messing with Godot, as the title's kind of hinting at. I'm playing with a 3D project, and I don't have almost any experience with 3D game dev at all. I've always been a 2D guy, so I'm learning as I go here. I'm learning the engine and learning 3D game dev stuff, which has been interesting so far. Lots of vector math that I ignored in high school that is just becoming useful now. Yeah, glad you could stop by. Feel free to ask me anything. I don't know how well I can explain everything, but I'm always happy to talk about what I'm trying to do. Otherwise, just feel free to just chill and hang out while I figure this shit out. Yeah, for me, math in general, really, I was really bad about it in high school because I really struggle learning complex concepts unless I have a way to apply them that's like really visible and tangible to me. And game dev is basically the most tangible way to apply math I've ever I've ever had. So now it's actually interesting and valuable to me in a way that it wasn't before. But yeah. That story is always wild to me, because, like, I don't know, geometry is probably the most, like, observable form of math. It seems kind of difficult to teach incorrectly. But your whole high school career is quite a tale. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, I need a way of getting the bullets. So this will return... This will actually return a bullet. This won't return a packed scene. So this is going to be a public bullet get. Well, it's not, because it's going to be a nullable bullet is what it's going to be. That's going to be interesting. Alright, what's this complaining about? The annotation for nullable reference types should only be used in code within a nullable annotations context. How do I fix that? Nullables are relatively new in C#, so I don't have all the answers here. Can I search this online from here? Sometimes I can. C#, oh, come on. I just want the code. This CS8632. We're going to Google this. Here, we'll Google it together. I'll show you what I'm looking at. The annotation, okay, so this is... You can put nullable enable on top of the file for a file-by-file approach. You can also use combinations in annotations just part of the file. Nullable contexts. Can I just enable it for... Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. We're just going to turn on nullables for the entire project. So I should just be able to tuck this in here. Oh, let's make it to where it's using the same shit. Ooh, that. converting a null, literal, or possible null value to a non-nullable type. That really gave me a bunch of warnings. Converting null, literal, or possible null value to non-nullable type. I think that's... Is that really fine? You know what? Let's do this a different way. I know I was all gung-ho about that a minute ago, but all these warnings are scaring me now. So we're going to go back into the CS proj and we're going to ditch that. New idea. We're going to use output parameters. So what we're going to do is this is going to be a public... Is that what I want to do? Can I just return null on a bullet? What happens if I do that? Can I just do this? Okay, it's just going to let me return null if I want to. So we'll do it that way. We're going to... Totally lost track of my thoughts. We're going to check if bullet queue dot get child count is greater than 0, we will get bullet. If not, we're going to return null. We are going to return bullet queue dot get child bullet 0. Okay, just catching up on chat here. Yeah, I love the algebra teacher con man story. I've heard it 100 times, and I love it every time because I just can't believe that happened. Nick loved calc, though. The teacher for it was great. Had him for 3 years. I never really had a good math teacher, at least not one that clicked with me. So that's cool that you had one. You had him for so long. But yeah, the Izzy's teacher faked the degree and found out what a check he wrote for a house bounced, and then he just ditched town. It doesn't sound real, but that's what happened. Oh, looks like one of Nick's English teachers did just the random grades. I get, like, wanting to get out of teaching, but I feel like there's a better way to do it than that. Oh, also, I skipped a major thing here. We're going to do bullet queue. Well, we can't do that before return. We're going to do bullet queue dot, not bullet. What am I doing? So var b equals bullet queue dot get child and return b down here, but we have to move it from the bullet queue to the active bullets before we do anything else with it. So we're going to do bool reparent. Or is it change parent? There's a way to move. Oh, move child. Does that moves a child node to a different position among the other children? This doesn't do what I thought it would do. If I can't reparent nodes in the tree, this whole thing won't work the way I planned it. Can I remove? What does this do? Removes a child node. Node is not deleted, must be deleted manually. Can I do this? What if I do bullet queue dot remove child b, and then b, or then active bullets dot add child b. I think that's... So now we can go back to tank. Their res equals true, so that's fine. We're going to do... There b equals bullet pool dot get. If b equals null, that's when we return that. When we'll just do this. We're going to do return false here. And we'll just return true down here if everything else works. Okay, so now that we've determined that the bullet's not false if we get down here, now we can do everything we're going to do. So b.position is bullet spawn dot global position, and b.rotation equals bullet spawn dot global rotation. And that should be it, actually. Later on, bullets will probably have like activate and deactivate methods, but for now, there's also no way for a bullet to return to the pool, so we'll see what happens. We're going to put a breakpoint down here to see if this works the way we want it to work. All right, so now we are going to launch the game and see what happens. Okay, gonna do this and push space. It looks like that worked. So what happens if we just hit play? Was the bullet fired? Okay, bullet was fired. Okay, I'm gonna disable that temporarily. Oh, I guess that's right here. Alright, hit play again. Okay. Let's do it from here. So, oh, no, I set it to 3. Okay, let's launch it from the engine so that we can look at that remote tab while it's running. So I'm interested in this. I'm interested in the tank. I'm interested in the bullet queue and the active bullets. So if I fire once, something... The active bullets are deleting themselves. Also, for some reason, yeah, shit's not working exactly right, but that's fine. So bullets need to not delete themselves. Bullet is right here. Process. We're looking. Okay, ditching this. Okay, we're going to, now that bullets don't delete themselves pretty much ever, we're just going to see what difference that makes. It's not going to work how we want it to work, but it'll hopefully give us a better remote tab behavior here so we know more exactly what's going on. So we're going to take a look at this bullet queue. Alright, so that went a weird way. Okay, so bullet 3. I think that did what I wanted it to do. I'm just gonna look at that again slowly. Oh, well, part of the problem is I still have it. I never populated, did I? That could be the whole issue. I think that might be the problem. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to remove these bullets I put in here manually, because those are just confusing me now. Also, just for my own note-keeping purposes, We're going to change the behavior over here. Where's the instantiate? It's part of populate. We are going to do b, is there a name? Name equals bullets. Bullets. And we will do plus I string. Okay, so that'll tell me which bullet it was in the list. Cool. So also, I did call populate, I did call populate. Okay. So that just probably made it more confusing. Okay, let's try this again. So we're going to do the remote tab again. Okay, we have the bullets. So the populate worked. I'm going to fire one, and that should pop over to the active bullets. It did. Okay, and now that I have no bullets in the pool, it no longer lets me fire. So now what we need to do is when these bullets are done, like whenever they have hit something or they've expired, instead of either deleting themselves or doing nothing, they need to pop back into the bullet queue. So we're going to use some events to get that working. But before I do that, I'm going to take my midpoint break, get a drink, and use the bathroom, and I'll be back in a handful of minutes. I am going to, before I go, I need to change my BRB so that you continue to have the music we're listening to right now. So let me go ahead and, how did I think I just have to add a input capture. We're going to just tuck you in here. And I'm going to hang out for a second and make sure that works.